There is a specific Tuesday when your savings quietly start earning more than you do, and almost nobody notices the day it happens.
Most people picture quitting your job as a single dramatic moment, a resignation letter, a cake in the break room.
But for a portfolio, it isn't dramatic at all. It's arithmetic. 1 month your investments are producing less than your paycheck.
The next month, without any ceremony, they're producing more. And the strange part is, the number where that happens is nowhere near what most people assume.
Ask 10 people what it takes for a portfolio to outearn a normal salary, and you'll get the same answer 9 times $2 million.
It's the number that shows up in every retirement calculator, every finance forum, every meaning uncle's advice.
But that number is built on a mistake. It assumes your portfolio is the only thing landing in your bank account.
For most people it isn't, so today we're going to rebuild the number from scratch using only what actually lands after tax, after Medicare, after every silent deduction nobody warns you about.
And I think the real figure is going to surprise you. Your number might be closer than you've been told.
Let's start with the paycheck, because everyone overstates it. The median full-time worker in the U.S.
earns a bit over $5,000 a month before anything is taken out. That's the number people compare against.
But a paycheck never really arrives whole.
Before a single dollar of income tax is even calculated, payroll taxes take their bite, just under 8%, gone before you ever see it, funding Social Security and Medicare. On a median wage, that's roughly $400 a month evaporating silently, month after month, year after year.
So the honest paycheck isn't the number on your offer letter. It's smaller, closer to $800 once that toll is paid.
Keep that figure in your head, because it's the real target your investments have to beat, not the inflated one everyone quotes.
Here's the question worth sitting with. If your job already loses 8% before tax even shows up, why does everyone compare it to investment income as if the two were taxed the same way?
They're not. Selling a share isn't labor. It doesn't pay a labor tax. Now the other half of the equation. How much a portfolio can safely pay you every year without running dry?
This comes from research updated annually, and this year's safe starting withdrawal figure sits at 9%.
That number gets treated like a law of physics, but it isn't one.
It's a starting point, the slice you withdraw in year 1, adjusted for inflation every year after, sized so that money lasts through a multi-decade retirement in most historical scenarios.
It moves. It was lower a few years ago. It could be different next year.
At 9%, every $100,000 sitting in your portfolio produces about $325 a month, forever, without you doing anything.
That ratio doesn't change as your balance grows. There's no bonus tier. It's flat, rung after rung.
Doesn't it feel like more money should buy proportionally more freedom? It doesn't. It buys the exact same rate every single time.
Here's where most calculations quietly go wrong. They forget that for a huge number of people, there's a second stream of income landing every month that has nothing to do with the portfolio.
All a retirement benefit check. The average benefit this year sits above $2,700 a month, but that figure never fully arrives either.
A Medicare premium is pulled directly from it before deposit, shaving off roughly $23 a month without a bill ever being sent.
What actually lands is closer to $1,900.
Stack that against the honest, after-tax paycheck figure of $4,800, and suddenly the portfolio doesn't need to cover the whole distance.
It only needs to cover the gap, roughly $2,900 a month. The finish line moves closer the moment you stop ignoring it.
At 9% closing at $2,900 monthly gap takes something in the neighborhood of $900,000, not $2 million.
Not even the honest, a gross number most people land on, 900,000.
Here's the twist almost no calculator shows you. The same $900,000 portfolio can produce wildly different take home income depending on which account it sits in.
Pull money from a traditional retirement account, and every dollar is taxed like ordinary wages.
Pull from a regular taxable brokerage account, and you're only taxed on the gain, often at a lower rate, sometimes zero, depending on your income.
Pull from a Roth account, and the withdrawal is untouched by federal tax entirely. Same balance, same withdrawal rate.
3 completely different amounts landing in your checking account, the spread between those 3 doors can be wider than the gap created by another $100,000 of savings.
Where the money sits can matter more than how much of it there is.
There's a second layer too. Pulling from a traditional account can also make a bigger slice of your benefit check taxable because it raises what's called your provisional income.
A Roth withdrawal doesn't touch that number at all. The accounts don't operate independently. They interact quietly in the background of every tax return.
So let's ask the actual question this video is about. If you're standing near that $900,000 line, what does one more year at your job actually buy you? We already know the rate. Every $100,000 saved adds about $325 a month permanently. A strong savings year with market growth might move your monthly income by a couple $100 if you're lucky. That's the entire prize. Put a price on that prize honestly, and it's roughly 2,000 hours of your life for what amounts to a slightly better grocery budget.
Not nothing, but not what most people are trading it for either. 2,000 hours for a marginally better Tuesday.
And there's a second lever sitting right next to that one that costs nothing extra, no additional years, no additional dollars.
Retirement researchers have found that a retiree willing to spend a little less in a bad market year rather than sticking rigidly to the same fixed withdrawal can safely start at a meaningfully
Higher rate than 9%. Flexibility, not another year of labor, is often the larger lever. If the math is this clear, why does almost everyone still work the extra year?
Not for the income. Nobody grinds through 12 more months for a couple $100 a month. They do it for the feeling of a cushion, insurance against the fear that the number wasn't really enough.
And that fear isn't irrational, it's just misdirected. There's rarely anyone in the system whose job it is to tell you when you've already crossed the line.
Your employer benefits from you staying. Anyone charging a percentage of your balance benefits from a bigger balance. Nobody's role is to hand you a form that says, you're done. But here's the uncomfortable twist survey data keeps surfacing. Workers expect to retire on average around 65.
Retirees report actually stopping closer to 62, and for close to half of them, it wasn't their choice.
Health, layoffs, or circumstance made the decision first, which means the extra year you're banking on isn't guaranteed to be yours to spend.
The bonus year you're saving for is a coin flip, not a certainty. For years, the only instruction that mattered was simple: save more, spend less, don't fall behind.
That instruction built the very number we've been discussing, but past a certain point, it stops being a strategy and starts being a habit that outlives its purpose.
The role changes. It's no longer about how much goes in. It's about what comes out, from which account, in which year, under which rules. That's a different skill than the one that got you here, and almost nobody teaches it.
If your portfolio, honestly measured after tax, after Medicare, after every silent deduction, is already covering more of your life than your job is, the math has already answered a question you
might not have thought to ask yet. The portfolio may already be writing the check. The only question left is whether you're still cashing your job's check out of habit.
If this kind of number first breakdown is useful to you, hit like. It genuinely helps a small channel like Winds of Thought keep making these.
And drop a comment. Have you actually run your own crossover number yet?